A very bright and energetic morning to the galaxy of honorable invited guests, elective worthy management of City University, faculties, and our beloved students. This is your host Aditi, Training and Placement Officer, City University, Ludhiana, extending a very warm welcome to you all to today's mega knowledge session on the topic 10 commitments for the career in as a future, as a profession or a business, organized by City University Ludhiana in association with Mentor on Road. A huge round of applause, everybody. Talking about City University, established in 2016, City University has grown as a leading institution of higher education in India. With its need-based programs in academics, research, and social engagement, CTU is registering a global visibility now. City University is one of the leading industry-driven university with most of the prominent courses having industry tie-ups for providing the best of the practical knowledge to our students. City University has been recognized under the top 30 universities in the band performer in the prestigious Atal ranking of institutions on innovation achievements 2021 notification issued by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. And today, in the era of this contemporary world where life is so dynamic and competition is far apart so tough, we all have gathered to know more about the various commandments required in order to enhance one's career and the skill sets. A huge round of applause as we are having our worthy Chancellor Sir, Sardar Charanjit Singh Channi. Before we begin with our today's session, I wish to present a few lines by Richard Branson. The road to success is paved with tests. So you have got to believe in yourself above the rest. Dream big and let your passion shine. If you don't, you won't end up with a dime. Challenge the status quo, disrupt the market and say yes. And remember that innovation is an endless quest. Don't forget to change business for good. If you want to change the world, then you should. If you think with your head and listen with your heart, I promise you'll get off to a flying start. Make bold moves and always play fair. Always say please and thank you. It's cool to care. Do you always love what you do? This advice is nothing new. Now stop worrying about whether your business will be a hit. Rise to the challenge and say, screw it, let's do it. If your work trajectory is like most career climbers, you'll have above obstacles and pressures every step of the way. But job skills and talents aren't the only prerequisites for the career advancements and success. The holy grail of mental and physical resilience also determines whether you reach your goals, perhaps even more than your talents. Now, I would like to introduce our worthy Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Harsh Sadawarti. Dr. Harsh Sadawarti is an acclaimed academician, an excellent administrator, and a strategy leader with over 28 years of experience. He always strives for an excellence through exemplary vision, diligence, dedication, and determination. As Vice Chancellor of City University Ludhiana, he raised the banner of university in regional, national, and international canvas. His outstanding research acumen, coupled with ability of planning, organization, and program management, has led to engaged visibility of the university. He has been honored with the Best Young Vice Chancellor Award in recognition of his enduring commitment to excellence. With this, I would like to invite our worthy Vice Chancellor, Sir, of City University, Dr. Harsh Sadawarti, to please extend a welcome address to our amazing audience. A huge round of applause, everyone.
So very good morning to one and all present over here. Very good morning. So Honorable Chancellor Sardar Charanjit Singh Channi ji, visionary and philanthropist. With his vision, CT University is growing from strength to strength. Started in 97 with the school. Now see the aura of CT Group. We have 18 institutions, 2 big campuses in Jalandhar, 2 international schools, and this world-class university. I would like to extend a hearty welcome to Dr. Jagat Shah ji. So big round of applause for Dr. Shah. A stalwart. When you talk about mentoring, sir has got more than 2 decades rich experience in international business consulting. You name the area, sir is there. Always there to advise, to inspire and motivate people. So mentor on road. This is also a very unique initiative and very special initiative. Adopting villages, going across India and round the globe also for spreading awareness and motivating people for startups. So once again, a big round of applause for Dr. Shah. Sir is a business consultant also, and verticals like pharma, agriculture, food processing, information technology, you name any sector. Sir is guiding people and always at the front to mentor students and even villagers also. I met sir only for half an hour and got 2 big piece of advice from sir regarding our campus, how we can be different from other universities. I also extend a hearty welcome to our own Mr. Ahsanul Haq sir, who is GMA president and who is the key person, instrumental person for today's event. For big round of applause for Mr. Shah and Mr. Haq. I also welcome Mr. A.S. Bhal sir, who is the principal advisor for Government of India. I welcome you, sir, to this beautiful campus. CTU University is also taking such unique initiative. We have also developed a vehicle innovation on wheels, and we are sending this vehicle to different universities, different school colleges, and creating awareness among the masses about the startup and entrepreneurship. Right from day one, we are preparing our students in the domain they want to excel. We do voting and we provide them 3 to 4 different verticals, whether they want to opt for civil services, want to have some government job, then integrated our curriculum with IAS. They want to go for higher education abroad, we prepare them for that. They want to be an entrepreneur, do extensive entrepreneurial skills program for the students, inviting people from outside, from industry, from corporate. Even we have got more than 80 international advisory board members till date in our university. It's a multidisciplinary university, student-centric. We named it industry-driven. Now we are focusing on research-driven policy also. Till date, we have filed 80 patents. And when you talk about National Education Policy 2020, we've already adopted this policy 4 years back when we started this university, tied up with industry, blended industry curriculum for each and every syllabus, content, schemes were there, and providing certification to students from day one. And almost right now, 5,000 plus certifications we have provided to the students in various domains like cybersecurity, AI, data science, economics, psychology, you name any field. We have tried the students to upskill them. And COVID time was blessings in disguise. We had almost 5 plus international conferences conducted from our university side, 2 international symposiums, and 8 faculty development programs, and almost 5,000 plus students. They are upskilled themselves in IIT Mumbai tutorials, then EC Council certifications, EduSkill Foundation certification from Cisco, Palo Alto, Amazon Web Services, Tele, SAP, and so on. So, sir, university is going with your blessings and we are blessed and honored to have you in our most popular and esteemed campus of this region. I'm always proud of my university students. I always say them as friends, and my faculty, which is one of the best faculty in this region. They're working hard day and night. That is why the university is growing and emerging as one of the top university and top ranked university. We have been ranked top 30 in India in Atal ranking innovations in just 4 years' time. This is also a big achievement for any new young university. So big round of applause for my own university. So thank you once again, sir. I wish all the best for the upcoming session and for the grand success of this event. And thank you, Atipri and his team, for organizing this event in a very decent way. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for having appraised us about this, great event today. Now, may I please invite on the stage our chief guest come expert speaker, Dr. Jagat Shah, and all the respective dignitaries, our worthy management of City University, our worthy Chancellor, Sir, Sardar Charanjit Singh Channi, our Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Harsh Sadawati, to please come for the lamp lighting ceremony. So today's mega event is officially marked open. A big round of applause, everybody. This is indeed my honor to be an integral part of this mega event today. So now I would like to introduce and welcome our chief guest come expert speaker of the day, Dr. Jagat Shah, a very renowned personality, CMD from Global Network and mentor on X, India and USA. May I please invite Mr. Ehsan Ullak, President from Jalandhar Management Association, to please brief us more about our expert speaker, Dr. Jagat Shah.
Honorable Chancellor of City University, Sardar Charanjit Singh Channi ji, the keynote speaker of this morning session, Dr. Jagat Shah, Vice Chancellor Dr. Harsh Sadawati, Mr. Anand, former Economic Principal, Government of India, faculty members of CTU, and young Indians and young foreign nationals. Coming to City University is always a happiness, because what I find that this is the only university in this region which has got a department of happiness. So coming to CTU is always a happiness. India is the youngest nation in the world, and coming to city and interacting with the young students is always value add to our drive. And what is our tribe? Our tribe is, we have Mentor on Road tribe in Punjab. So we started it yesterday from Chandigarh, and we had 3 different sessions in Chandigarh yesterday with the industries and with the women aspirants of the startup. And also we had interaction with the industry delegates from one of the fastest growing industry in Mohali, Chandigarh, Chima Boilers Limited. So this was our day 1 program. Today we are here in City University as part of our 3 days mentor on drive in Punjab. So today after we finish, we have some more industry sessions in the afternoon, and then we are doing back-to-back lot of events with industry, students, women-owned businesses tomorrow in Jalandhar. So not taking much of time, let me to have this pleasure of introducing the keynote speaker of today at CTU, Dr. Jagat Shah. I work with Dr. Jagat Shah in India and overseas, and I handle his state mentoring operations in Punjab. So my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jagat Shah. His philosophy is action at speed of thought. This is the philosophy on which he works, action at speed of thought. He has a PhD in international business and is a diamond technologist. He is a diamond technologist and also a diamond mentor. Is certified as cluster development expert by UNIDO and is a certified management consultant from ICMCI US. He is based in Ahmedabad, and all the way from Ahmedabad he is now mentoring young people, SMEs and women-owned businesses in his 3 days drive in Punjab. So welcome to you, sir, to Punjab and especially in City University. He worked as a Trade and Investment Commissioner of Government of Manitoba in Canada for 9 years in India. He has worked on trade and investment related projects with US Department of Commerce, Government of Brunei, Senegal, Oman, World Bank, United Nations, DFID, Asian Development Bank, USAID, the Commonwealth Secretariat, several ministries of Government of India, and many multinational companies and SMEs in private sector. His core competence is facilitation of international business, which we call exports, technology transfers and joint ventures. Under his Mentor on Road project, he drives around India, US, Canada, Africa, Europe and around the world to mentor youth startups and women-owned businesses. And he has driven 6 lakh kilometers in 20 countries. He has personally driven car 6 lakh kilometers in 20 countries in last 15 years. He is in Book of World Record for the mentoring road drive. His benchmark project is his 10 years of work in Afghanistan to connect Afghani businesses to global markets. So when he was in Afghanistan for 10 years, he trained and mentored the dry fruit growers and the carpet weavers. And today probably those trained and mentored people into these 2 sectors, they are owing international businesses in many parts of the world, and they are all big companies because of his personal mentoring in Afghanistan. He has facilitated many more innovations in SMEs during the pandemic, from idea to execution. He runs 6 businesses and social enterprises: Global Network, Vibrant Markets, Global Network Institute for training young people into exports, Smart Village program, Mentor on Road and Cluster Pulse. His tagline is Desh Pratham Vande Bharat. So not taking much time, because it's going to be one of the most vibrant sessions for all of you young boys and girls and all faculty members, and it's always an honor to have his talk with young people, and I'm sure a lot of takeaway after we listen to him, and please come up with your question answers after he finishes his session. So let's all join hands to invite Dr. Jagat Shah to deliver his keynote address. Dr. Jagat Shah, please.
So I want to ask you before I start what I want to tell. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. How many of you? Thank you. How many of you have got an Instagram profile? Wrong question. How many of you have got a Facebook profile? How many of you have a Twitter handle? How many of you have a YouTube channel of your own? Okay, it has gone down. How many of you are already on LinkedIn? Oh, this is very surprising and very soothing. Okay. How many of you have got a smartphone? How many of you are above 18 years of age? Now, some hands are not coming up, so let me check. Okay. How many of you use WhatsApp? That's another university. How many of you have got a passport? So my definition of international business starts with the passport. Okay, so if you want to get into international business, and why you should get, whether as a job or a business, starting point is passport, right? How many of you have got right now, or have you made a visiting card of yourself? 1, 2, 3, as a student. Okay, so this is the first thing I must tell you. It doesn't matter you are a student, you should have a visiting card as a student. Because what is your introduction? You are starting a career. You are either looking for a job or starting a business or wanting to go for higher studies, right? There is fourth option also. You want to do nothing, right? So for everything you should have a visiting card, which can just say your name, your mobile, your email, and if you have a, okay, I forgot one more thing. How many of you have your own website? 1, 2, 3. Let me tell you something very interesting. Many people do not like it, but we should be honest in this world. I worked for 6 years in China, in a Chinese textile company, as a CEO of the company. In China, in this type of a university or this type of a classroom where you are, from class 11, every student will have a website of their own. Now tell me, the one who has made a website, what is the cost of making a website on WordPress?
That depends upon the theme which you have.
Right? But it can be made free also. Right? Why website? Today the entire world has become digital. You will be very surprised that today almost 60% of the world economy is working in some or the other kind of a digital model. So if you see e-commerce business, to just elaborate that and to make you understand the intensity of doing that, it's a very interesting thing, e-commerce business. The most developed market in the world for e-commerce e-commerce is America. And the reason for that is, anybody in the world who has got a credit card or a computer and a smartphone either, and internet connection can be your buyer. And in America that percentage is highest for all three. And in last 10 years before pandemic, whatever business took place in e-commerce, in first 4 months of pandemic, that much growth took place of last 10 years, even in a developed market like US. So now you can imagine how businesses are changing the way it is being done, right? And another Indian example, if I have to give, is just, I think, 13-year-old startup, I will say, which is called Flipkart, was sold for 1,40,000 crore rupees to Walmart, $22 billion, right? And Flipkart started with 50 lakh rupees investment, which also they borrowed. So capital is no more, money in form of capital is no more a requirement to build a business, right? Knowledge is what is required. Knowledge are building businesses. Narayan Murthy was a teacher, and he had to give his wife Sudha Murthy's jewelry on loan to buy first 5 computers. What is the net worth of Infosys today? We all know. So he had no money, right? I will encourage you to read one book. How many of you have heard DTDC Courier? DTDC Courier, okay. So the founder of that company is a IIT graduate and an IIM graduate, and he wanted to start a courier company 30 years back. And he went to a bank, he said, I want 70,000 rupees loan. And bank said, no, courier is not a private company business. Courier is a post office business. And they refused to give him loan. He had to borrow money from friends and relatives, and he started the company last year, 2 years back. It became the second largest company of Europe. It took over the second largest European courier company, and last year its turnover was 860 crore rupees. No capital. I can give 100 examples. So capital is no more, money as a capital is no more required to start business. Many of us may be thinking that will be our hindrance if I want to start business. So money is not required, idea is required, and a good business plan is required, right? There is enough money today also in India and all over the world to fund any business plan which can solve the pain points of society. Every innovation which has come in the world is to solve a pain point of society. So let me begin. See, a lot of us, in every day in our WhatsApp university, we go through a lot of negativity and less of positivity. I want to start by giving you some startling information. Many of you may be aware. I am just reinforcing it. And this slide I show all over the world, wherever I go. And people are surprised, even in US and Washington and New York and whatever you call. Before pandemic, India was the fastest growing economy in the world for 3 continuous years. We are already third largest by purchase power parity, India. 750 million, 75 crore internet users. In 1990, we were not in the top 20 internet users of the world, not there. Today we are second highest internet users of the world. That transformation has happened in the environment of business. Has it happened in our life? That is why I asked you those initial questions. If you have adopted this transformation, you will succeed in life, right? Third largest rail network, 1.3 billion people, 100 billion e-commerce market, 500 million urban population. I used to talk in US, I used to ask the people in US that you are saying India is a poor country. Okay, so what is the population of US? So they said 330 million people. I said we have 500 urban population, 500 million. 170 million more than you. And what is the beauty of that urban population? 450 million are middle class. 450 million people are middle class, which is, again, I used to tell Americans, 120 million more than you, your population. So don't look at India only purely as 1.3 billion people. Even if you look at India as 450 million middle class population, then you understand the potential for you to do business with India. And we are going to add 150 million people to that on the middle class by 2025. We are already 175 giga. Every commitment which we made in climate change, almost a lot of that which we were supposed to fulfill by 2030, we have already completed. That's the commitment to climate change. That is also a huge opportunity for all of you to work. marry digitalization and climate change. I'll give you some interesting examples of that. How do you marry digitalization to anything which can be a pain point of society? Climate change is today a pain point of society. There is huge opportunities in that. Today I was walking through your innovation center and I saw a lot of technologies which you have developed in pandemic. So that is called necessity is the mother of invention. So pandemic required that type of solutions to come. Climate change is a necessity, right? So we should come out with similar technologies there also. Our Prime Minister has said that India wants to become a 5 trillion economy by 2025, right? Let me give you some statistics. The entire world economy today is $94 trillion. America is $23 trillion. China is $17 trillion. And India is $3 trillion. Right? So, if we want to become a $5 trillion, every economy in the world became a large economy, primarily for two reasons. One, higher service sector contribution to the GDP, and second, because of exports. So, international business and exports will play a very big role in taking our economy to $5 trillion. And what role you are going to play in it, you have to decide. Right? We are the youngest nation, one of the youngest nation in the world. 29 years is the mean age of India, average age. 65% population below 35 years of age. 50% population below 25 years of age. 50% population, 65 crore people below 25 years of age like you, they are also consumers. Are they not consumers? Are you not consumers? So what are you consuming? That only you as youngster will know and build businesses around that. In which country in the world you will get 65 crore consumers of below 25 years of age, right? See, I told you Walmart invested $22 billion in Flipkart, in a startup. I still call it a startup, right? When they purchased, still Flipkart was running at loss. It's a very interesting economics to see. If a company is running at loss, then why somebody should pay $22 billion to buy, right? So 99% literacy we are targeting by 2025. We have achieved highest foreign direct investment. For many, many years it always used to be China. Now, each box you see here, why this has been put into a box? Each box is an opportunity for young people like you. Now you think in which box you want to sit. Each box is an opportunity box. Doesn't matter which box you want to sit, you can build a career. Doesn't matter which box you want to sit, you can start a business. And I told you, you don't need a capital to start a business. There is enough capital in the market. You need a good business plan. Next. Okay. So, okay. So this is also interesting. We are building, I was just talking to Anandji, he is the former principal economic advisor to Government of India, that the way we are building 20-kilometer roads every day. It's a record in the world, right? So power transmission, we added 18,000 megawatt power, largest cotton producer of the world, 100 smart city project, 10 metro rail project under execution, 1,000 villages, it's not mentioned here, smart villages, 80 ports are being built today in India, aviation 20% growth. What is a port? What is a port? Port is all about infrastructure. Infrastructure leads to competitiveness, right? So one of the big difference between China and India, India is any day better in entrepreneurship than China, no doubt about it, right? The role of state there, China is a state-driven economy. India is an entrepreneur-driven economy. So infrastructure, once we do it right, our entrepreneurship will flourish more, which is happening. 80 new ports, construction 100 million homes for housing for all, largest dairy producer. We made 3.1 crore auto vehicles. Imagine 3.1 crore. Factories cannot just keep making and line up. They must be selling, right? So a lot of people tell me, oh, we are passing through difficult times. I cannot understand it. I'm not able to relate it to data because last month we had 1,70,000 crore GST collection. right? So GST collection happens through production or service economy. So naturally it must be doing well, otherwise how we are touching such a large GST collection. So again, each of these boxes is an opportunity, okay? So how many of you know or understand about design thinking? Okay, so design thinking is the starting point of entrepreneurship. Design thinking is nothing but identifying a pain point of a society, working on a solution, testing the solution with the society, and once then improve it if it is required, and then come out with a final product and launch your business. So this design thinking is a very time-proven process, and I will encourage all of you to do Google search and go to YouTube videos. There are very nice 20-30 minute videos on design thinking. It will give you very good clarity for those of you who want to start a business. Okay, let me ask 3 more questions. How many of you want to do a job after you finish your graduation? Okay, so you are all graduating or masters? Mix. How many masters? Okay, less. Okay. How many graduation under UG? Okay, understood. So, okay, I only saw 5 hands, those who want a job. It's very encouraging. Generally, it's reverse. There are only 5 hands for business. So, okay, how many of you want to start business? How many of you want to go abroad? How many of you want to go abroad to settle down? How many of you want to go abroad for higher studies? How many of you want to do nothing? 1, 2, 3, very good. Because my hand is also up. I think that is the peak of happiness. But it is boredom. You will commit suicide if it happens that you do nothing. Right? So work on this more. And I see a lot of African friends here. So, my friends, whatever I am telling applies to every African country also. Right? I have done a lot of work in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Senegal, Ghana, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Mozambique. So I have seen a very, very clear similarity between what is happening in India and what's the opportunity in Africa. So kindly relate everything I am saying to your country as well. Now, can someone tell me what is innovation according to you? I want to listen. What is innovation? Anyone? Yeah, please. कुछ नया क्रिएट करना, समथिंग न्यू, बराबर. वेरी गुड. किसी भी चीज़ का सॉल्यूशन बिजनेस ही होता है, बिजनेस ही करने का. वेरी गुड. व्हाट क्या है इनोवेशन की परिभाषा क्या है आपके हिसाब से? इनोवेशन क्या है? हाँ बिल्कुल. बहुत बढ़िया. तो बिल्कुल सही. तो ये whatever you all said about innovation, is true. It is absolutely correct. I will tell you one more perspective of innovation. Yeah, please.
Successful implementation of new ideas.
Very nice. Absolutely. Successful implementation. Execution is key. Idea is the first thing. Business plan is second thing. A business plan will remain a business plan in Almira if it is not executed. A lot of business plans are in Almira. If you do Almira audit, most of the things you will throw out. Right? Even in your house. There is a lot of junk in our house, in our Almiras. We have bought things which we never use for years. So, one of the very interesting definition of innovation is do one thing better than anyone else in your profession or in your business. There is a crowd out there in the world. Okay, how many of you come from business family? Okay. How many of you come from farmer family? Very good, very proud. Let's all clap for them. They feed us every day. Every day they feed us. Thank you. Those who come from business family, whatever businesses your family is doing, there must be 5,000 people in India doing the same business. So if you are also doing the same business in the same way in which all are doing, you will always suffer with sales, you will always suffer with price, you will always suffer with long payment terms and payment default. Do one thing better than anyone else. What is that one thing? I don't know. It is your business. If you do one thing better, those who are from family business, talk to your parents and find out, and you take this charge to do one thing better than anyone else, and that will separate you. And then nobody will ask price, because they will compare you with whom, right? So that itself is called innovation also, right? So try to inculcate this even as a student. Even as a student, you can do one thing better than anyone else. Okay, let me ask one more question. How many of you have got a biodata written? Okay. How many of you have got a video biodata? One. Now what has happened, I will tell you, particularly after pandemic. Recruitment is happening in the world like crazy, and recruiters are not calling people for interview. You will be surprised, even in pandemic recruitment also happening. In my own company, we hired 65 people only in the pandemic. Okay, but we were not calling anybody to interview. We were not meeting anybody. We were doing digital interviews, right? So, if I will suggest you one thing. As a student, to make yourself different from others, pick up a phone. That's why I asked you how many of you have a smartphone. Everyone has. Take your phone, put in front of you. Before that, write in a script. 5 minutes you have to talk about yourself. 5 minutes about yourself. You write a script. I am telling you, it will be difficult for you to talk about yourself for 5 minutes. Forget job and business. First, try to understand yourself. Try to do this exercise today. Tomorrow you are going to forget. There is a lot of more information which will come into your head from today onwards. Try to do it today. And record and say something about yourself for 5 minutes. What yourself? See, many of you, when you go for an interview, the first question generally people will ask, okay, very good, tell me something about yourself. That's very standard. That's what they will ask. So what are you going to say? So why are you waiting for somebody to ask this question in an interview? Why don't you preempt it? Why don't you make a video? Do a video, then listen to the video. Okay, here I stammered, here my choice of word was wrong, here my facial expression was not proper, here my tone is not hearable, it is going down. Tone in a video builds confidence of somebody who is listening on what you know, right? And then you say, oh no, this is not good, delete it. Make another. Make 10. What is the cost of doing it? 0. Make 10 video. Now you say, oh yeah, this is good, I like it. Put it into your YouTube. Make a YouTube link to your LinkedIn, to your social media handles, to your website, and send a video CV, even for internship. Send a video CV. It is as good as an interview, face-to-face interview for a recruiter. LinkedIn has developed an algorithm. AI works on it. It catches. So all the recruiters in the world have now started to going to LinkedIn to hire people. And if you have attached your video CV to that, the AI is catching it and throwing it to them, matching it to the words, keywords they have mentioned in the jobs they are seeking, the employers. And if those words are matching in your CV, your video CV will go to them, because now video CV is more important than a text CV. This is how you use technology. This is how you use your phone. The phone has so many productivity tools. Most of us, we use hardly 20% of the productivity tools of the phone, right? So let's use that. That is one thing which you will do different than others. right? I go to many universities all over the world, and very few are making video CVs, but that trend has changed because of digitalization. Video CV is a part of digitalization process. So the subject today was 10 commandments. Okay, so this is very interesting. A startup is a temporary organization to find a permanent business. Understand this. This is very interesting. Don't be. What is the meaning of this statement? The temporary organization. Don't be afraid to fail. It's okay to fail. It's a temporary organization to find a permanent business. It's okay to fail, but fail early and fail small is the theory. Right? That is the foundation of innovation. If you are afraid to fail, you cannot innovate. That risk-taking ability has to be there in you. And Punjab has always been very high on the risk-taking skill, risk-taking ability skill, right? In business, in agriculture, in whatever you call, right? So that is a hereditary advantage you have got of the geography. Make a video CV, I already told you, create a network, learn and practice virtual interview skills. Now a lot of interviews are happening virtually, particularly international, which were happening before also. Virtual internship fairs. Has any of you attended virtual internship fair? There are exhibitions now happening in the world of internship, virtual. There is a virtual expo for product and business. There is a virtual internship fair. So I'll encourage you to Google that and find out. Some of them are AMROC, Synopsys, HP. They have already conducted these fairs, and a lot of companies have participated. Study website and info. Okay, so this is very interesting. So if you are going for an interview, so a lot of people come to me for interview, right? We hire a lot of young people. And first question I ask them, did you study our website? Most of them say no. I say, sorry, this interview is cancelled. You study the website, you message us that you studied, send us a 2-3 paragraph note, what did you understand we do from our website, then we will have interview. And some kids, some young people, before I ask them question, they start telling me, I studied your website and you are doing this thing. Can I ask you a question? They are asking me, can I ask you a question about your business? I say, yes, please. And they say, why don't you do this thing like this? And why are you doing mentor on road, and for what purpose? What is your objective of mentor? They have reversed the role, they are interviewing me. Why? Because they did their homework. Always, if you are going to a company for a job, applying, study their company first, study all the social media handles. Find out 5 points which you will start talking before they ask you anything. Their questions will reduce. They will not ask you questions to understand what you know. You already know about the company. What is induction training in a company? They want to tell you about the company. You already know before interview. They will say, oh wow, this girl is ready. Suddenly that decision making will become faster. Always the interview time will become less. This is the trick you use. Salary. So yesterday I was interacting with some youngsters and I was asking that how much salary you want in your job. So they said 5 lakh per year. Right? One said 15 lakh per year. Okay, I said very nice. What is the logic of this calculation? Is there some logic? The moment you are graduating or masters, you still do not have practical industry experience, right? So my theory, and this is what we practice a lot, is if anybody is asking you how much salary you want, then you should say, you decide the salary. You ask me whatever you want to ask me. Give me the work. Let 1 month be a probation period, you say to the company. Let them not tell you. And say, let 1 month be probation, give me whatever work you want to give, train me some basic skills of how to execute. After 1 month, you decide my salary. Try and do this. And you will see you will be getting salary more than you expected. Why? Every company in this world, every company in India, want good people to join them. In 1 month, they will come to know you are good enough in your work or not. and nobody wants good people to leave them. They will offer you a salary, and 1 month is your investment, right? You all must be what, 22, 23 now, right? Enough time, don't worry about 1 month. Practice this. So do not have this expectation in the first job. Later on, of course, you have experience and you have know-how and you have skills, then you can start demanding. First job, do not be demanding, right? This is also very interesting. Learn. How many of you know one foreign language? 2, 3, 4. Foreign language for Indians is outside of India. I mean, so very few. So again, this is called innovation. Do one thing better than anyone else. If five engineers are sitting in front of me and giving me an interview, if all 5 are equal and one of them knows French, I am going to hire that person. Why? Particularly if it is my business is international trade related, or if I thought I want to go to France market, example, or not just France market. There are many countries in the world who speak French, right? So I will hire that person. That is what is called do one thing better than anyone else. That creates a differentiation for you. I will encourage every one of you to learn one foreign language. That is the true integration to the global economy. Okay, then my definition of PhD is passion, hunger and discipline. So I'm sure every one of you should have that capability. And if you want to do postgraduate, a lot of you raise hand, you want to do post-graduation. I'll give you a very interesting suggestion. See, after graduation, never do post-graduation. Work for 2-3 years and then do post-graduation. Why? If you study top 10 B schools of America, I consider that to be very high on management know-how as a school. And even IIM Ahmedabad or top, Indian MBA schools, you will find 90% of the students getting admission have minimum 2 to 3 years of experience. There must be some logic why they select students like that, right? And the logic is very simple. Whatever you have learned in the classroom in bachelor's is actually not practically related to industry. Only now the trend is changing. Our curriculum, our education system has failed our youth, right? It is not related to industry. So you still do not know a lot of things about industry. But after you have worked 2-3 years in the industry, then when you do masters, whatever you will learn in masters, you will relate that knowledge to your 2-3 years of work. And then your real master's knowledge will come out. And then you will come out as a higher pay scale or higher scale positions. Otherwise, even if you do masters immediately after bachelor's, you will still be considered to be a bachelor in the eyes of the industry, because you still don't know anything about real industry world, right? So here I must share you a very interesting concept which is called a triple helix of competitiveness. Triple helix. Competitiveness is what guides all our life, whether a student or education sector or business or whatever, politics also, right? Competitiveness, it's called triple helix. Government, academia and industry. All these three should work with each other smoothly, right? So government and academia is okay, government industry is okay, industry academia in India is very poor. And I was very glad to hear from Vice Chancellor ji that you are working on industry academia linkage, because that is the game changer. That is actually the foundation of triple helix of competitiveness, where you will yourself get the experience. To, for example, like I must give you this example, because when I came, I saw your innovation on wheels bus. Can you start, for example, a MSME clinic? Start a campaign which is called MSME clinic. What is a clinic? A clinic is a hospital, small, where there is a doctor and there are patients. So today MSMEs are sick, a lot of them, right? Your faculty and the students are doctors and assistant doctors. Go sit in the bus, go to MSMEs, go to chambers of commerce, tell them to call their members, go to industry associations, go to small towns, even villages, tell people to come and tell what are the problems in business. And together between your faculty and the students solve it. That is industry academia linkage. Then they are the same people who will hire your people, who will hire your students, because they know that you have the know-how, and they will be able to solve their day-to-day problems. So this is how you can create this linkage. And this is my last point here: never join the rat race. And this is more in relation to masters. Most of today's youngsters are doing masters because after bachelor's we don't get a job. So we do masters because what will we tell in society? If somebody says, "Beta, kya kar rahe ho aajkal?" So what you will say? So at least you say, "I am doing masters." This is a psychology. So don't join the rat race, right? Because even if you win the race, you are still a rat. So do what your see, every one of you is unique. Okay, every one of you is unique. And that is what I wanted to tell when I was telling, tell your story in a video. Tell about yourself in 5 minutes in a video. Each one of your life story is different, right? None two of you would have a same life story. That will create a unique CV for you. Otherwise, if you see tech CVs, there are a lot of copy paste, which many people have written same thing. But in video CV, there is never going to be a copy, right? Because you are talking about your life. Okay. So this is very interesting from startup perspective. I think we do not need 2 or 3 10,000 crore companies. We need 10,000 youth companies with 2-3 crore turnover. It is the small medium enterprises which creates jobs in India. Large companies in India have done automation. Machines are working. Small medium enterprises do not have access to the capital for expansion of the kind of to become very large that way. So SMEs are creating jobs. So this is, I call it India un-INC, right? And SMEs will keep creating jobs. And again, you must study one World Bank report which came in 2019 on Indian education system, where it is saying that 85% of the fresh Indian engineering graduates are unemployable. They have never said how many got employed. They are saying it is unemployable, right? Again, it reflects to our what we are teaching. So every year 1.5 crore young Indians like you are joining the job market. In the highest of the peak of growth which India had, we created 60 lakh jobs in a year. What are 90 lakh people doing? And what will 4.5 crore people do in 5 years? Self-employment is the only employment, right? Self-employment, you look at self-employment because you become a job creator. And nowadays it is very easy to do. I will explain with some quick examples, right? And virtual business, there are a lot of virtual businesses, freelance. For example, wherever you are living, how many of you here are from Ludhiana, right? So wherever you are living, in the vicinity of your neighborhood, if you know families who are from business, right, go and ask them, can you tell your 2-3 pain points of your business? Can you tell some problems of your business? Listen to the problems and then think, do some research and think of solution and offer them. That is the best internship you will do, because you know they are known to you. Those neighborhood people are known to you. And see, this is a very interesting example of pain point of society. When pandemic happened in India, you will all be very surprised to know for 50 years, 50, before pandemic, we used to import ventilator. India used to import ventilator. And I used to be very surprised that we are launching satellite to the Mars and we can't make ventilator. How are we launching satellite to the Mars? Right? And necessity is the mother of invention. Pandemic came. Today we have 16 factories which make ventilator in India. One of the factories in Ahmedabad, which I know, exported 1,500 ventilators to United Nations, who supplied it for free to African countries. Necessity is the mother of invention. Why did we not do before? So many a time when we are forced to do something, that is why I am telling all of you that try to find out pain point of society. The pain point of society is a business opportunity for you. Okay, now I am coming to this very interesting portal. So how many of you feel that You don't want to do business because you don't have money. How many of you feel that money is your shortcoming to start business? Okay, nobody raising hand, very shy audience, because a lot of you must be feeling that. Okay, but let me give you a very interesting answer. So there is a company called lendingcard.com. You must all Google it up. Lending card. It is only for startups. Amazing. You don't have to go anywhere. You can sit here and do it, go to your home and do it in the library here and do it. Click that for new business, 72 hours processing for your business idea to be approved. No collateral required up to 2 crore of rupees. It is guaranteed under CGT MSC scheme of Government of India. Up to 2 crore rupees, you have to go, no collateral security. Interest rates are mentioned 1.9, flexible repayments. They will ask you your business plan, that's it. What's your business plan? And your background. And they only fund startups, right? So a new company only they fund. If you are a 3-year-old company, they don't fund. And they will tell you in 72 hours that your funds is sanctioned or not. They have disbursed 62,000 crore rupees in last 2 years. And they have tied up with all the banks of India. It is just a bridge between the demand from startups and the banks. The digital platform is the bridge. They have just developed some algorithms which does debt equity ratio based on your business plan, and they sanction your plan. So we have this hesitation to go to people to ask money, no? That they will refuse. Here is an online portal where you can do it. See, this is the power of digitalization. And if you are some of you are family run businesses, right? So there is another portal for people who have more than 3-year-old business, not startups, which is called psbloanin59minutes.com. Again online, you don't have to go anywhere. They have disbursed 85,000 crores in last 2 years. And only thing which they want, again online, GST number, income tax returns of last 5 years or last 3 years, and P&L and balance sheet, bank statement of last 6 months, and the director or the owners, education and ownership details. That's it. They are not even asking you want money for what purpose. Why? Very interesting. They also developed an algorithm. They are saying if based on the last 3 years of income tax returns and P&L and balance sheet, the ratios which will come out will say that this person, business person, is smart business person. It doesn't matter what this person does, they will be successful. They look at past history, not future. Who could have, which bank would have known that a pandemic will come? All the banks which lended money, did they consider the factor of a pandemic? No. Nobody can predict future. Very smart company. They give loan on past performance, because that is what will drive your future. So again, you can apply again 2 crore rupees, no collateral security. With collateral security, there is no limit. So there are, some very interesting portals like BlueNile.com which sell jewelry online. You must check this, very interesting. There is a personalized doormats which buys doormats from India and sells online. And that's fine. All this I want to skip. So, this is my last slide. The entrepreneurs are economic soldiers of every country. It is through entrepreneurship that we are able to create jobs, because through entrepreneurship you grow your business, and as you grow, more and more people join you. So there is I consider it to be the benchmark of nationalism. There is no greater feeling. Tell me, all of you, when you listen to our national anthem or the national anthem of your country, do you feel proud or not? Do you ever get a higher feeling of nationalism than that experience? Never. That is what entrepreneurship does to you. It is the benchmark of nationalism. Why? Simply because you will become job creator. There is no greater service to mankind in this world than to be a job creator. I went on Venturon Road, Chancellor Sahab, I went on a mentor on road tour to America, and I used to ask there, the people, that, you know, uh, to the Indians there, that you have learnt in India, studied, you are earning in America, what did you return? So they used to tell, I give money to temple. I said, okay, what's happening to your money in temple? He says, I don't know. They said, I built a school. I said, okay, what's happening to your school in India? How many teachers? He says, I don't know. I said, you have given money, you don't know. I said, see what is the logic. If you do your business and if you grow your business, you will become job creator. There is no greater, I use a very crude word, I am not finding an alternate word. Pardon me, there is no greater charity in this world than that. Why? In temple I will give once. In school I will give once. If you grow your business and more people join your company, every day, every month you are paying salary, their house is running on you. Right? Their education of children, the health care of the family. There is no greater cause than this. And that is the most important part. There is the strongest feeling an entrepreneur can get. That is why you should grow your business. Right? Otherwise, under Maslow's need hierarchy, there is a stage after which money doesn't become a motivator. Right? So, creating jobs doesn't follow Maslow's need hierarchy. There is no limit of that. I was once very lucky to be sitting in dinner at the house of Mukesh Ambani, and his plate came, there were 2 roti, no ghee, and there was 1 sabji and 1 dal. Then my plate came, 16 katori in a Gujarati style. And then I was looking at his thali and my thali, and I said, you are eating this much? He said, yeah, I eat only this much in the evening. I said, I was actually shadowing him. There was a very interesting UN project. They identified 100 people to shadow 100 richest people in the world for 1 full day. So from 12 in the night I was at his house, and whole day I was shadowing him. I was just observing him. I was not supposed to speak. Wherever he goes I had to go and I had to be with him. So I said, whole day I observed you I am talking of which year? 2018. I said, I observed you so aggressive in your phone calls, in meetings. You are so aggressive. I mean, you are eating only this much. Your cloth, how much better cloth will you wear? Your house, I mean, how much tall house are you going to build now? You know, what is driving you? What is your driver? What is your motivation? I mean, I don't think money is, but your aggression in the way you are working whole day today, I am not able to understand. And he told me a very interesting thing. And he said, look, Jagat, today 400,000 people are working in my company, in the Reliance Group. I will become less aggressive when 1 million people start working in my company. That is the only driver I have. That is my only goal. Money is a byproduct. He says, as my growth will happen, more and more people will join my company and grow. This is the mindset all of us should have. If that kind of a person has that mind, for us we could start with 5 people, 20 people, 100 people, that's okay. We are small companies, right? So this is how, entrepreneurship is so powerful. That's it. So friends, I just wanted to give some ideas to you of what is happening in the world with young people like you and how things are moving. If any one of you has any question, you can ask. Otherwise, I have finished what I wanted to share. Thank you very much.
And
okay, I will answer one by one, or I'll forget. Sure. Right. So the best way to scale a top company, Jeff Bezos sitting in a one room, 20 by 20 for 4 years and working as a startup. And he said, he simply did one thing. It is called equity. There is a definition of competitiveness. He said, I was a small company and I wanted smart people to work with me. And who will join a small company? Everybody wants a glamour of a large MNC to work, right? He said, I wanted people to work with me for long, 25 years. He said, I saw bright people. When I saw bright people, boys and girls, I offered them, I called them, I said, this is my business plan, this is how I will go. I convinced them on the business plan, I gave them 2% equity. And I said, I will give you this small salary because I am small. And as I grow, I will increase your salary, but 2% equity. Today, 2% equity of Facebook is $2 billion. It's a $100 billion company. $2 billion. Infosys did the same. Narayan Murthy had no money. He wanted to scale up. He hired Gopal, Bala, Nandan Nilankani, gave 10% equity, 5% equity. Today, Nandan Nilankani's net worth of that equity is 2,800 crores. Okay, so you have to give equity if you want to scale. And it is people only. People drive business, right? So people are going to be, and you give equity. If you, either you should have money to grow, or you should have people to grow. Both is same thing. So you use your own company's equity to get people and grow, or you pitch to investors after a certain stage, right? Because every stage which you are in, seed 1, seed 2, seed whatever, there are different level of investors, right? You can go right up to SoftBank and Sequoia and all of those at the top. That's how all companies in India have become big. Okay, did you get the answer?
Yes, I got that.
Okay.
Thank you very much. The second question is, how many times is too many times in terms of failing before I decide to change my business type or my business?
Yeah, so that is very interesting question. So I actually in Mentoran Road in Phoenix, I met one guy. So he said, I only invest in a company which has failed once. I never invest in a company which has come with an idea and says, here is my plan. He says, I only invest in a company which has failed once. He is investing $600 million, he is rotating. So I said, why? What's the logic? And then he also told me, in America also, in such a developed economy, with such an advanced startup culture and innovation culture, even in that country, you will be very surprised, all of you, to know 85% of the startups fail in US. And he said, in my case, 85% is my success rate. It is only because when I fund somebody who has failed, that somebody knows what not to do. The new startup knows what to do. This guy knows what not to do. So there is no such thing like how many times you fail, right? It can happen. There are business people in the world who have failed 7-8 times, right? I was reading somewhere, if I am not wrong, Bhalji, like Napoleon lost 19 wars, right, before he finally started winning. So there is no such thing. You should just believe in what you are doing, right? Yeah, that's my thought process, right? You got an answer?
Yes, I think I got the answer. Then I have two final questions which are a bit on the personal side. So in terms of failing in a business, especially when you are doing most of the things alone, what was your personal coping strategy when things did not go your way? What did you do?
So this is also very interesting. You see, when I came back from China, I was the only person in my company. Today we have 120, 125 people in our company. And the most important thing I learned in life is, as an entrepreneur, never run your business, grow your business. Never run your business. If you are running your business will not grow. Very simple. What is the meaning of grow your business? Delegate authority. We are hiring people but not delegating authority. It is not good enough. Leadership to me is nothing but delegation of authority, right? So even if you are one person, you don't, why do you want to remain one person, right? Why don't you hire young people and you delegate your work to them so that you can do the creative part? An entrepreneur should never run the business, never get into operations, get into growing business, that's all. Because growing business needs creativity. Running business is operations, right? For example, finance, like functions like finance, HR, admin, production need not be run by an entrepreneur. You can delegate. Marketing, certainly. Strategy, growth, pitching to investors, for example. So that is how you will grow. You are never going to grow only by yourself.
The final question is, what would be the best breakdown structure in terms of percentage against the total income in profits?
I didn't understand.
The profits that come from the company, what would be the best breakdown in percentage of how to distribute that profit to grow the company?
So, profit distribution is based on shareholding. I mean, that is a if you are a proprietorship company or a partnership company or a private limited company, right? Then there are directors in the company who hold certain percentage. Proprietorship 100% owned, all profit is yours. If it is a partnership and there are two partners, 50-50. So whatever between the two of you, you decide you do. Private limited also that way. If it is a public listed company, then there are many shareholders. Then there is a board. There is a board which discusses amongst itself and decides the dividend. Right? So initially in all startups, there is a thumb rule, very interesting thumb rule. You have asked a smart question. It is called 1000 days. First 1000 days, no dividend to anybody. It takes 1000 days to stabilize a startup. So for first 1000 days, there is no dividend given to anybody. Of course, the person who has started should draw a salary. This is a big mistake happening in India. Big mistake happening in India particularly. If you are the person who have done a startup, who have started, and you are yourself working in the company, you should draw a salary from the company, even though you may be having 60% equity. Equity part of profit you may not draw, but salary you should draw. Otherwise, how are you going to run your household, right? So salary is different as a promoter, and dividend on the profit is different. And in any case, very few startups make money before 1000 days. So there is no even question of dividend. Dividend will come when there is a profit. Okay.
Thank you, Lottie, for your questions. Another questions?
Can I ask a question on behalf of young?
Yeah, just one more. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so my question is...
You are from which country?
Zambia,
Which city?
Lusaka.
Very good.
So
Which area in Lusaka?
Sorry?
Which area in Lusaka?
Central. It's central.
Okay. Okay, tell me.
So if I have multiple ideas on different startups, how do I know exactly which one I can execute first?
So you have to start one at a time. Okay, so design thinking, you saw that design thinking? You saw that? You Google design thinking. You go and check some videos. Design thinking is the way to select what you want to do. Right? Because the pain point you identified a solution, you have tested the solution with the people who have the pain point, and then you have made changes as per the responses and feedback. Then you come out with the final thing. Sometimes the final decision is that this is not going to work. It's a good decision. Don't waste your time. Design thinking is going to decide you whether to continue this or not, because design thinking is about people. If there is a pain point of a group of 10 people, you experiment that with those 10 people only and take their feedback, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, on behalf of these young people, I have a small question to ask from you. As a mentor to millions of youth around the world, unemployment is a big challenge in our country, but to me, bigger challenge is underemployment. Unemployment is not bigger, bigger is underemployment. So, how you advise to these young people overcome this challenge, and how you connect this to startup opportunities?
So that's a very difficult one. That will require me to go back to my PhD. So I will go there and come, right? So the thing is like this, that what again? Just I missed the underemployment. So what is happening? I will tell you. This is a very nice thing. If you take agriculture, okay, today what is happening to the farmer? That there are phases where they are just idle, right? So then they become construction laborers. If you look at industry, I know one Sortex machine in Bombay. So they have their own rice mill, and they bring the rice and they sort out as per quality, thick grain separate, long grain separate, white grain separate. But the capacity utilization is 40%. Then we suggested them, why don't you do job work for others? So they started doing job work for others, and they started utilizing capacity more. As young people, and if you get into a position of underemployment, you should do multitasking. Number one, multitasking in the domain of digital world. It is amazing. You know, the internships which were happening in last 2 years all over the world were digital. Because there was no travel, people were not meeting people, but a lot of employment took place, and you will be surprised. I read one Pew study which says that 80% of the people who did digital internships were hired by the same companies. Even though people have not met. Out of 65 people we hired, I think in last 2 years, I have met 3 or 4 only personally. Because still, you know, people are not traveling so freely. So, digital is a huge opportunity to cover up your underemployment. And there are a lot of interns which used to give me interview, and they used to say, I'm already working 4 hours, I'm available for 8 to 10 hours. I'm already working 4 hours. They were underemployed that time. They said, but I will deliver what you want, tell me. She said to me, I am honest that I am telling you 4 hours. If I don't tell you, how you will know?
डॉक्टर साहब मैं
Right?
एक क्वेश्चन कर रहा हूँ।
हाँ जी।
डॉक्टर साहब आप ऑल वर्ल्ड में घूमकर लोगों को बहुत कुछ सिखा रहे हैं। अब ये बताइए कि आप सिखा रहे हैं कि सीख रहे हैं?
वेरी वेरी स्मार्ट क्वेश्चन। इनको कैसे पता चला पता नहीं, बट मैं सीख ही रहा हूँ। अब मुझे आपसे बैठना पड़ेगा कि हाउ डिड यू कम टू नो अबाउट इट। आई एम लर्निंग एवरी डे। टुडे दैट आवर अफ्रीकन फ्रेंड आस्क्ड मी 4 क्वेश्चंस। आई एम लर्निंग व्हाट आई हैव लर्न, व्हाट आई हैड टू थिंक इमीडिएटली। आपने अंडर एम्प्लॉयमेंट को, आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट इट टू अदर्स। आई लर्न टुडे। आज उन्होंने पूछ लिया मेरे को, तो मैंने थोड़ा सोच के जवाब दिया, बट after going today to my hotel, I am going to do research on this subject more, and in my next session I am going to talk about that from my side. उनको लगेगा अरे इसको तो आता है, अरे इन्होंने पूछा इसीलिए आता है। The best teacher is the one who learns. There is no better teacher than that. Those who are teachers here. Never think that I know everything. We are always every day learning. There is no better way than this. So I will tell you a very interesting thing. So we ran a program, 4-day program, which is where we teach international business to business people, exports. And I tell them, you are business people, you are manufacturing, so here is my PPT, here are the 2-hour session, 16 PPT. You learned, at the end of it I ask, you understood? Bole, haan. Now teach this same PPT to a person in your company, yourself. आप बोल रहे हो ना, you learn, teach. And I said, when you teach, you will learn this more. Abhi to you have listened and you think you know. When you teach, you will come to know you know or not. Because that person is going to ask you question. And you will have to either have an answer or study the answer. Then you will learn. So, that is the teacher is the best learner. You learn because of that only. That is why experience is also important, right? Because over a period of time, you learn. But today, to the young people like you, the opportunity is digital. You still can go to YouTube and listen to amazing videos and learn as per what is your interest, and then deliver the same thing to someone. This is my suggestion to all of you. Sir, based on sir's very smart question, that whatever you have learned today, my suggestion is, I did not see, perhaps any one of you, maybe you are writing, but I never saw any one of you writing notes or writing it in the phone. Right? I am sure if I ask you right now, what are the 5 things you learned, you will not remember. So, whenever, let me tell you another skill which you should develop. Okay? Whenever you go to a job and when you start your job, when your boss calls you to your office, they will tell you, come with a pad and pen. But do you have this skill now? So, you will learn at that time. So, how are you expecting a salary? You don't even know that when you are learning something, you should write. Because nobody in this world will remember everything. Right? So that is your, and if whatever today also you have remembered, I will encourage all of you young people to go and teach this to someone tomorrow, and your own learning will increase. It's my challenge. Right, sir?
Sir,
Okay.
one question, please.
Yeah.
Before I ask a question, I would like to answer one of the questions you have just asked. Why are you making notes? I was making the notes.
Yeah, I saw.
So, one of my simplest and yet important questions: what is that? What is the key? Rather, what's that point where the potential investors like your idea and invest in your idea? What's that key for a startup?
So the key, as I said, is just whether you have identified the pain point of the society properly or not. But why? Because if you have identified a pain point of society, any one particular society, even in Ludhiana, in one neighborhood, that will be the pain point of vast number of people around the world. So identification of pain point is the first thing. That is the starting point. Nothing else is the starting point. Every business is like that. So when Uber came, when I used to go to Delhi from Ahmedabad by flight, I wanted to go to one meeting only, but I had to pay half day taxi cost. It was a pain point. There were thousands of people like me who had that pain point. Uber came, it is a super hit. I just called from my mobile. It solved my pain point. But it is a pain point of millions of people, right? But they identified the pain point. Oyo Room has solved the pain point of society. You know, any startup successful, all 100 unicorns. I challenge all of you young people, you do this homework. You do this homework if you want. List the 100 unicorns of India, which recently every day we are hearing, right? Every week we are creating unicorn. And tell me, my phone number is there, message me that even one company you find who is not solving pain point of society. You will not find even one company. So first is pain point, and then is what is the solution you have come out. Pain point identification is half the way. The other half is what is the solution. Because pain point identification may be right, but solution may not be right. So what solution you are, and the solution should primarily be digital, because now that is where the world is going. Everybody in the world is adopted IT, right? So and digitalization, particularly the speed. What should have happened in next 10 years has happened in 2 years because of pandemic. That kind of digital adoption, because people had no choice, right? They had to do that way. Every one of you, many of you may not be, just one moment, may not be buying online, but in pandemic you started buying. Yes, sir.
डॉक्टर साहब, एक मैंने माजिद ने आपसे पूछा कि कामयाबी की कौन सी चाबी है, कौन सी की। मेरे हिसाब से लाइफ में जितनी मर्जी स्ट्रेटजीज बनाते रहें, वो बिखरती रहेंगी अगर आपके प्रिंसिपल्स नहीं हैं।
एब्सोल्युटली, वो तो गिवन है, दैट इज गिवन।
बनती रहेंगी, बिगड़ती रहेंगी, लेकिन हम स्ट्रेटजीज के पीछे पड़े हैं, प्रिंसिपल्स को छोड़ रहे हैं, इसीलिए हम इधर उधर भाग रहे हैं, कहीं भी कामयाबी नहीं।
ट्रू, वो तो फाउंडेशन है, वो तो मैंने उसकी बात ही नहीं की, वो तो आई हैव टेकन इट एज एन एजम्पशन। तो वो तो प्रिंसिपल्स के बिना तो जिंदगी नहीं जी सकते। लाइफ इटसेल्फ कैन नॉट बी रन। आई वाज वेरी हैप्पी टू सी योर हैप्पीनेस सेंटर। The happiness center is based on principle of life. What are we here for? What are we studying for? What are we going to do with the money we earn if we are not happy? The principle of life तो basic है, right? And if every success story which you will find, right, particularly of the olden days of brick and mortar times, you will find they have grown on principle, right? And later on, maybe like Ratan Tata or Birla Group, some of these old groups. Right. Later on, my philosophy, Chancellor Sahib, is like this: that as we have grown economically and more prospered in technology, our moral values have fallen, and that has hit our principles. So today there are a lot of controversies with startups also, right? You are exactly right. Many a times, even if you are successful, but if you are not followed principles, it is not good enough. It won't sustain. It won't sustain. It may have succeeded for short time, but it will not sustain long.
One who can help me to grow our business.
Very smart. What's your name?
Anmol.
What you are studying?
Business management, BBA.
Where are you from?
Ludhiana.
Who is your best friend?
Sir.
What's your name? So wait, why he is your best friend? Tell me some qualities which makes him your best friend.
Every quality, sir.
Huh? Every quality. Like example.
Enlist them.
बहुत है.
हाँ एक बोलो ना, दे दो तीन बोल दो ना.
दिमाग के सब पढ़ लेते हैं.
दिमाग अच्छा है,
Yes.
उसका दिमाग अच्छा है, खोल के देखा. ऐसे ऐसे नहीं, ऑन ईमानदारी से उसकी क्या क्वालिटी तुमको अच्छी लगती, क्या क्यों बेस्ट फ्रेंड है, क्या उसका अच्छा लगता है, हमेशा तुमको कभी दुखी होते हो तो सहारा देता है, या क्या है उसकी ऐसी क्या बात है? हेल्प करता है, पैसे ऐसे देता है. राइट. तो इसी तरह से यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई सेम वे. हाउ यू डिड यू नो हिम बिफोर? नहीं, कितने साल से जानते हो? 15 साल से. ठीक है. तो द आंसर इज कि व्हाट हैपन्स कि ये तो आप 15 साल से जानते हो तो बेस्ट फ्रेंड हो गए, ठीक है. लेकिन 15 साल जानने की किसी को ज़रूरत नहीं है समझने के लिए कि वो एम्प्लॉई आपके लिए ठीक है या नहीं, या काम करने के लिए पार्टनर ठीक है या नहीं. बट आपके इन 3-4 इंटरेक्शंस यू शुड बी स्मार्ट इनफ टू अंडरस्टैंड. साइकोलॉजी समझना ज़रूरी है. राइट. कि वो आपके लिए आपकी माइंडसेट से मैच होता है या नहीं, बस. उसकी कोई स्किल है, उसकी स्किल का कोई यूज़ है, वो तो सब गिवन है. माइंडसेट आपका उसके साथ मैच होता है या नहीं. और वो आप 3-4 बार उससे मिलोगे, कभी लंच पे जाओगे, कभी डिनर पे जाओगे, कभी मूवी देखने जाओगे, कभी साथ बैठ के कुछ देख रहे हो, कुछ बातचीत करोगे, तो आपको आइडिया आ जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं होता क्या? ऑल ऑफ यू टेल मी, डज इट हैपन टू यू दैट व्हेन यू शेक हैंड विथ समबडी, sometimes it gives you a positive vibration and sometimes negative? Does it happen or not? That is human nature. आपको you get that feeling. It's a gut feel. It's a gut feel, right? वो आपके अंदर से ही आप you'll come to know, and particularly after 3-4 meetings you will, and then of course see, all said and done, this is a very mean world. Okay, this is a very mean world, and that's why I was telling Chancellor Saab that values have fallen. Okay, today someone may be very fit to work with you, but after some time there may be some pollution to that person, right? And then it may not remain. So nowadays it's a very fluctuating thing. But that is why equity is important. If you are given equity, then by legal they are bound to you, right? ठीक है?
Next question.
Sorry, sir. Thank you so much for giving us information. I had 2 questions.
Which country you are from?
Tanzania.
Which city?
Dar es Salaam.
Dar es Salaam proper.
Yes.
Where?
A place called Boko.
Okay.
I have 2 questions. First question is, how do you come up with the name of a startup?
Name of?
Of a startup. This is actually my problem. When I try to think of a startup, it actually becomes a problem.
Very nice question. Let me answer that first. How do you think Steve Jobs would have thought about Apple for a computer? Can someone tell me? How can a computer be an Apple? I mean, Apple can be an Apple. How can you name computer as an apple? That too it is eaten. My philosophy of name is like this. Think of any name which you like, give it. You work hard to build that name into a brand. Doesn't matter what is the name. There are a lot of names in the world which has no meaning. Can anybody tell me what is the meaning of Nike? What is the meaning of Reebok? And what is the meaning of Adidas? And where these names come? Quality. You have to work. All of these are quality products, right? So think of any name. That doesn't matter. And name are of 2 types. Good question you asked. Name are of 2 types. One is company name. Another is brand name. They are 2 separate things. Company name is a different thing. It doesn't matter what company name you give. Forget it. It doesn't matter at all. Brand name is more important. And brand name you should always trademark. Protect your brand name. Go for IP protection. It is all done online nowadays. Okay, protect your brand name. And company name is different. Any company name you can give. Brand name, you can talk to people, you can do some brainstorming, but it's up to you. You give a brand name which you feel matches with your thought process, because it has to be your ingenious thing, right? And I'll also encourage you, I'm forgetting the name of the person, it's a German guy, but anyway, you just Google that how to give a brand name. You will find a 1 hour 10-minute video. I'm forgetting name of this German guy. It's amazing. And exactly what I'm telling you, I learned from there, right? So when you go, but he has explained in a very detailed 1 hour period. You will get it.
Understood.
Yeah.
The second question is between growth and profit, which
What is I didn't.
between growth
And
profit,
profit.
what should we focus on?
Very good. This is my favorite. I always talk in industry associations about this. So this is a very balancing act you have to do. Okay. So growth and profit both is equally important, first of all. However, you understand one thing. My question to you is like this: are you interested in very high sales with low profit, or low sales with high profit? Tell me. So now the point, Chancellor Saab has mentioned high sales, low profit. Okay. So now the point is like this: if you are a startup, then your scaling up is going to take long time. So in the initial period of your startup, work on high profit, low sales, because your sales is not going to increase in the short term. But if you do not have high profit, you will not sustain, right? So, or unless you are going into the model of valuation, so that's a very different game. If you are going into the model of valuation, because all valuations which are done of startups, all companies are running at loss. Flipkart also today is running at loss, but scale is very high. So that is another aspect. If you want to go into the game of valuation, to me personally, valuation is not a business. You may make money, but it's not really a business, because you are going to sell it. You are going to sell it. That is the meaning of valuation, right? So otherwise, in the initial period, higher profit and low sales. Then over a period of time, as sales increase, your profit in any case has to fall. Otherwise, you can't increase your sales, because it's a very competitive world. However, there is one element, very interesting element. It is like this. It's called the curve. So it's innovation curve. So what is the innovation curve? When you do an innovation, you should know when you are peaking in that innovation, and because a lot of people will copy you, maybe not exactly, but in a similar way, and you will hit a price pressure. The moment you are peaked in innovation in terms of returns, you do another innovation. You have to be constantly innovating. Forget it that you have innovated once and you are done. Only when you again go to the starting curve and innovate again, only then your cycle will keep continuing and you will keep scaling up. And then you will keep having this. So the best is you should try to strike as much possible between growth and profit, but it's very, very difficult. Very rarely any company is able to do that.
सर मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है कि एज ए एंटरप्रेन्योर हमें कौन सी क्वालिटी है जो इस एज में डेवलप करनी चाहिए?
इस एज में डेवलप करनी चाहिए. सो सबसे पहले जैसे सर ने बताया ना, एक तो लाइफ की प्रिंसिपल्स बड़े क्लियर होने चाहिए कि आपको बहुत पैसा बनाना है किसी भी तरीके से, या फिर आपको ईमानदारी से ग्रो होना है. ठीक है, ये एक प्रिंसिपल बड़ा क्लियर होना चाहिए. और दूसरा कि कोई ना कोई स्किल आप डेवलप करो. और वो जो स्किल आपकी जो है ना, वो स्किल जो डेवलप करोगे ना, अगर आपको स्किल पसंद है तो उसका मतलब वो आपके स्वभाव से मैच होती है, उसमें आप बहुत अच्छा करोगे लाइफ में. कोई ऐसी चीज़ अगर आपने पकड़ ली जिसमें आपको खुद को मज़ा नहीं आ रहा है, वो कभी बिजनेस नहीं बनने वाला. तो आपको मज़ा आना चाहिए जो कर रहे हो आप, उसमें आपको सेटिस्फैक्शन होना चाहिए, वो चीज़ आप पकड़ो. तो स्किल, कोई ना कोई स्किल होनी चाहिए जिसके ऊपर आप बिल्ड करो. और स्किल मतलब स्टार्टिंग में. और तीसरा है कि जैसे मैंने बताया ना कि सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है आप पेन पॉइंट ऑफ सोसाइटी को ढूंढो. वो पेन पॉइंट ऑफ सोसाइटी को ढूंढना इटसेल्फ इज़ ए स्किल, ठीक है। तो जैसे मैंने बताया कि ये मेंटर ऑन आपका इनोवेशन ऑन व्हील्स है, तो उसमें आप पार्टिसिपेट करो, आप जाके इंडस्ट्रीज़ के साथ आप समझोगे उनके क्या क्या चैलेंजेस है, ठीक है। तो उसी में से आपको कुछ ना कुछ सोल्यूशन निकल के आ जाएगा। तो जितना ज़्यादा आप लोगों के साथ इंटरेक्ट करोगे ना, उतना आपकी स्किल्स बढ़ेगी, राइट। उसमें कम्युनिकेशन भी एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात है, तो कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स भी होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि आजकल तो सारी दुनिया कम्युनिकेशन पे चल रही है। बाकी आपने जो पूछा है बहुत लंबा है सब्जेक्ट, 1-2 घंटा लग जाता है उसमें।
You may not succeed with your first company, but it puts you on the path to succeeding with a bright future. So on the same note, thank you so much, sir. Your session was really very informative, and your words were totally full of the golden words which we learned today, and definitely these words are going to put all our young minds on a right future and on a right path. We as the entire city family are really honored to have you with us today, and now it's time to recognize our personalities who work with and left as imprint in the social work leadership, policy advocacy and social change. So City University always stands committed to recognize such leaders. So may I please request our chief guest, Dr. Jagat Shah ji, our worthy management, our Chancellor sir, our Vice Chancellor sir, to please come on the stage so that we can felicitate our honors. May I please invite Ms. Simran Gill also to please join us on the stage. Next we have Mr. A.S. Bhal, IES Principal Advisor, DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, India. A huge round of appreciation, everyone. We have Mr. Rohan Datta, life skill coach. Appreciation is always what we all crave for, so it must not stop. We always need to encourage the experts always with us. Mr. Nitin Mittal, digital educator. Next we have Mr. Munish Nagpal, and a very interesting part is his brain science coach, which is totally a unique designation I ever came across. He's a brain science coach. Last but not the least, may I please request our worthy management, our Chancellor Sir and Vice Chancellor Sir, to please felicitate our Chief Guest of the Day and the expert speaker, the keynote speaker, Dr. Jagat Shah, for enlightening our young minds with his precious words of wisdom today. His presence with us today definitely left marks on our hearts and brains forever and ever. Thank you so much. Lastly, may I please invite our worthy chairman, sir, to come on the stage and let us know a few words of wisdom and share with our audience and the chief guest, please.
Dr. Jagat Shah ji, Mr. Anand, Advisor to Government, India, एहसान उल हक जी, हमारे वाइस चांसलर साहब, अतिप्रिया जी, प्लीज़ ज़रा आप ज़रा नाम पीछे जो हमारे गेस्ट आए हैं उनका नाम भी मुझे मालूम ज़रा प्लीज़। हाँ, मिस्टर रोहन, मिस्टर नितिन, हाँ मिस्टर मित्तल जी। तो सभी का यहाँ आने पर बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। हमारे जितने भी टीचर्स हैं, प्रिंसिपल्स हैं और हमारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, सभी का यहाँ आने पर शुक्रिया अदा। तो डॉक्टर जगत शाह, जगत का आप सभी मतलब जानते हैं जगत क्या होता है? जगत का मतलब होता है वर्ल्ड। तो आज वर्ल्ड हमारे पास आया है और शाह जो है इनकी तो वैसे कास्ट है, तो विलेजेस हमारे यहाँ शाह, विलेजेस में शाह को जो ना लोगों को पैसे देते हैं और इन्वेस्ट करते हैं उनको शाह कहा जाता है। लेकिन यहाँ शाह जी हमारे यहाँ ज्ञान बांटने आए हुए हैं, तो इनके लिए बहुत तालियां बहुत ज़्यादा बजनी चाहिए जितना आज इन्होंने हमें फेलिसिटेट किया है। तो सर आपने डिजिटली हर हिसाब से ग्रेजुएट को कहा है कि ग्रेजुएट के बाद सीधा आप पीजी करने मत जाइए। बहुत बढ़िया बात कही है। यहाँ तो सभी लगे हुए हैं, जितनी देर पीएचडी नहीं हो जाती उतनी देर आदमी नहीं रहता। तो ये जो चीज़ें हैं ये कब तक हमारे नीचे तक पहुँचेंगी? ये आप देखिए, प्राइम मिनिस्टर के साथ आप घूमते हैं, उनको कहिएगा कि ये जो पीएचडी वाला है कि भाई आप अगर पीएचडी नहीं है तो आप असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर भी नहीं बन सकते। तो उनको समझाइएगा कि जो एनईपी है, नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है, तो इसमें चेंजेस लाएं। जैसे फॉरेन में है कि भाई आप अगर एक ग्रेजुएशन का एक पार्ट भी कर लें, एक साल भी लगा लेते हैं, तो आप अपना काम करके फिर दोबारा से सेकंड ईयर भी लगा लेते हैं। तो ये चीज़ें चेंज होनी चाहिए। वैसे तो एनईपी में बहुत कुछ है, ये लागू भी होना चाहिए। अच्छा, कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो कि आपने बताई, नारायण मूर्ति के लिए बताया कि उनके लिए उनके पास कोई पैसा नहीं था, सिर्फ आइडिया था। बेशक या पैसा होना चाहिए या आइडिया होना चाहिए, ठीक है। स्टार्टअप्स के लिए जितने भी, मैं ये कहूँगा कि जो इन्होंने आज बताया फेलियर के लिए, मैं समझता हूँ कि आप रोज़ फेल होइए, लेकिन आप फेल होने के बाद रियली हारिए, लेकिन हार माननी नहीं है। अगर आपने हार मान ली तो आप तब फेल है, अदरवाइज नहीं फेल है। तो ये चीज़ें जो हैं, जो इन्होंने आज बताई है कि जितना मर्जी आप फेलियर होइए, आप आगे बढ़ते जाइए। तो लास्ट में एक मैं, जो कि इनकी बातों से मुझे एक बात याद आ गई, गिरने से डरता है क्यों, मरने से डरता है क्यों, ठोकर तू जब तक ना खाएगा, पास किसी दिन तक तू गम को नहीं बुलाएगा, जिंदगी क्या चीज़ है तू जान नहीं पाएगा, रोता हुआ आया है और रोता ही चला जाएगा। तो इन्हीं बातों से मैं ख़त्म करता हूँ। ऐसे हक साहब, मैं आपको बहुत इसके लिए धन्यवाद करता हूँ। ऐसे लोगों को, ऐसे लोग तो नहीं मिलेंगे दोबारा, इन्हीं को बार बार लाते रहिएगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
मैं आपको एक किताब देना चाहता हूँ। फ्रेंड्स, दिस इज़ अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग बुक आई एम प्रेजेंटिंग टू चांसलर सर। दिस इज़ कॉल्ड शब्दों की जिम्मेदारी, हिंदी में है। ये मैंने पेंडेमिक में लिखी है। 830 छोटी छोटी कविताएं हैं और इसमें बहुत सालों से, 20 साल से मैं लिखता आया हूँ। उसको मैंने पेंडेमिक में किताब बनाई है और अमेज़न में मिलती है, ठीक है। तो इसके अंदर ब्यूटी ये है कि आप कोई भी पन्ना खोलेंगे, कोई भी एक छोटी सी 3-4 लाइन की कविता है, कोई भी एक पढ़ेंगे सुबह, तो मेरा चैलेंज है, 830 है, कोई भी पढ़ेंगे तो मेरा चैलेंज है, आपको ऐसा ही लगेगा कि आपके लिए लिखा है। ठीक है। और दूसरी बात इस कविता की, छोटी छोटी कविताओं की ये है कि पूरा दिन आप एकदम मोटिवेटेड फील करेंगे। वो इतनी ऐसी है ये कविताएं, तो ज़रूर अमेज़न में से लीजिएगा, और मैं सर को तो दे रहा हूँ भेंट। ठीक है सर, आप स्टॉप बोलिए, आप स्टॉप बोलिए कहीं भी, स्टॉप। हाँ ओके, तो इन्होंने यहाँ स्टॉप बोला, मैं एक पढ़ता हूँ।
खुद ही ना पढ़ो।
हाँ आप पढ़िए, चलिए आप ही पढ़िए।
रिश्ता क्या
इधर,
है
इधर,
ये
इधर।
जानने से अच्छा, रिश्ता क्या है ये जानने से अच्छा, अपनापन कितना है ये महसूस कीजिए। एक और पढ़ूंगा। काम अनोखा करता हूँ और जिंदगी खूब जीता हूँ, मन मुताबिक अपने, ज़रूरी नहीं दूसरे समझ पाएं इसे। ज़रूरी नहीं है दूसरे समझ पाए, मुझे तो अपना जीना है और किसी से तरह।